Well, thanks for visiting us this morning at ktalnews.com as well as your Weather Authority app. I'm meteorologist Josh Morses, and a pretty packed Wednesday morning forecast update for you. We'll have an update on the tropics, as it looks like we could definitely see a tropical system, maybe even a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico next week. We obviously flirting with some record highs today as well as tomorrow, but we have a nice cool down on the way next week, so I know everybody's looking forward to that. I'll get to that in just a moment, but the heat continues today. I think today will probably feel like the hottest day of the week. We have highs forecast to reach the upper 80s today, so everybody should be a degree or two warmer. And the dew point's still hovering at about 70 degrees, and that's right at the steamy category. Really no change from yesterday, so we've really been feeling the humidity again this week, and we'll feel it again today. But if you take a temperature of 98 degrees and you tack on the high humidity today, we should get a heat index probably 102, 103 or so this afternoon, so it will feel probably similar to yesterday, if not a degree or two warmer. And even though tomorrow we may hit 100 degrees, we do have a front coming through that will actually drop our humidity on Thursday, so I do think we'll feel a little relief tomorrow as far as the humidity. So today may feel like the hottest day that we've had this week. High pressure continues to build down into the Arklatex today, so that is likely going to keep us dry. And the high is starting to meander just a bit to the west here, so it's basically centered in central Texas here, and you can definitely see that on our upper level wind map. So by tomorrow, we'll see this high kind of scoot further away from us, and we'll begin to see some heat relief this weekend, but especially as we get into next week. So we'll show you the Robin's Hood Futurecast. Nothing to see here today is high pressure again putting the brakes on any chance of rain today. We'll likely see those mostly sunny conditions through the afternoon, and would expect the same thing tomorrow. Update on the tropics. We got a lot going on out there. We have still have Hurricane Fiona. That's what you're seeing here. Very powerful hurricane, which will continue to move to the north here. Will not affect the mainland U.S. And what we'll have to watch, you can see there is a little tropical wave that's developing here, and it will continue to move to the west-northwest. Eventually next week, middle of next week, this is probably going to curve up into the western Gulf of Mexico. It will be close enough to us that we'll have to follow that closely for a few days. Most of the forecast models this morning kind of take it close to the Florida coastline, but obviously we're talking about something that's 8 to 9 days away. There's a lot that can change with the atmosphere, so again, it is possible this could take a more westerly track, so something we'll have to keep our eyes on here, as we'll likely see this become a named system in the next few days here, and it looks to make landfall maybe somewhere in the Gulf. It would be late next week if that does happen and it all comes to fruition, but it's all very preliminary. Again, we really don't have an idea right now where that is headed, but it will be approaching the Gulf of Mexico, so we'll keep you updated on that next week. Speaking of next week, with that front coming through late Sunday, we may see a few pop-up showers during the day on Sunday. Won't be a lot of rain with this front, but we'll get some big-time relief. Expecting highs will drop into the 80s for much of next week. We should have overnight lows in the 50s and 60s. If you remember the dry, kind of pleasant weather we had last week with the low humidity, well, we're looking at that again for much of next week. We just have to get through the weekend, and there will be some relief on the way as we head into next week.